but she eats it and she's like, I ate that Jello something. I was like, what are you talking about? The Jello, what? I was like, Grandma, what do you mean? The Jello. And I was like, the Jello. I was like, Grandma, that was an edible. She goes, oh no. Like it was just, oh no. Sorry, but let me apologize. Background changes in the process of been moving around. So at some point, all this will be pretty solidified and will look a lot nicer.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, episode 20, Too Opinionated. We made it all the way to 20. I saw a stat that said like 57% of podcasts don't make it to episode 10. So pat on our own damn bags. So good shit with the consistency.
Bam, bam. Bam, bam.
Bam, bam. Nice, Donovan. So this is episode 20, Too Opinionated. Respect your elders.
Yep.
This is a big topic. Something that I talk about all the time. So I'm gonna let you get us started with the first question.
All right, for sure. How would you say you personally treat the elderly, and why do you treat the elderly this way?
And why? Patience. Try to have as much patience as possible. I'm not the biggest fan of random human beings, but with the elderly, like I try to help carry something if something looks heavy, or walk something to the car, or help something out. You know, like if I see that, I give a little bit more grace to the elderly, and I try to provide conversations when I can if they want that, because I feel like a lot of time elderly are just kind of ignored or moved past. So when I can, I try to do that. How about you?
Pretty much the same. You know what I mean? I'm pretty patient. I guess you could say I'm a grandma's boy, if you want to say anything. So like, I was raised a lot by my grandma, so I have a ton of respect for the elderly, and the reason why I treat them the way I do, I definitely is because of my grandma and my grandpa. So, I don't know. I know it's kind of like a problem that we see. It's kind of like in today's society with the homeless, you know what I mean? But I've had homeless elderly come up to me and ask for food, and that's one thing that I can never deny. Like an elderly person or a homeless person is food. So anybody that has ever asked me for food, I can't really say no. Money's a different story, but food is for sure.
Yeah, I know the other day, well, it might have been a couple months ago. I remember I was on the phone with you, and you had me on, like I wasn't even on mute, but you were just talking to somebody for like 5 fucking minutes, and I was just sitting there like, hey, get off, like quit just talking to this random person. So I think I said that to you afterwards, like, why don't you, like I'd have been walked past them, and then you said, well, they're elderly, so I'm talking to them. I guess it was a couple older guys. So
Yeah,
that made perfect sense to me.
yeah, for sure.
A bit more grace.
For
So
sure.
if you were to treat the overall treatment of elderly in America, like 1 to 10, like 1 being like the worst, 10 being the best, what grade do you think we deserve in America?
I would probably say a 4. You know, I feel like we there's a lot to be learned, you know what I mean, from the elderly. They've been through a lot more shit than we have, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, I know, like there's a lot of generation gaps and stuff like that, but I feel like we kind of just brush them off to the side. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like whether it's throwing them in homes, whether it's, you know what I mean, just not caring for them or not listening. So I feel like it's around a 4. What would you say?
I say it's just a 1, man. Like
Say it's a
I don't,
1?
I say it's a 1. I don't see or hear of any campaigns behind Respect Your Elderly. I don't hear of any directives that we teach our youth, like Respect Your Elderly. And I've been working with youth for 10 plus years, and I've never once seen a thing where there's a push to respect your elders ever. So I
Yeah,
feel like
I could say that.
we never teach them that. Everything we do in society is like, oh, you're just old, throw them away. Like you have no more value, throw them away. Like it's just wild to me, man. Like when my dad was passing away, I went to see him in the hospital, and he had a roommate with him for a little while. This is out there in Chico. He had a roommate with him, and dude was like over 100, like 102, 103 years old. This dude that was in the room with him. My dad was like in his 50s, I think, like late 50s.
Yeah.
And he had his son there, and his son was in his 80s. So like the son looked like the old, you know what I mean? But he's sitting there with his dad who's passing away. And I remember
Yeah.
the doctor was a dick. Like he he had his foot on this dude's bed. Like imagine like Captain Morgan, like you got your foot on the patient's bed next to this dude's legs, like while
Yeah,
he's on the bed. And I remember him telling,
crazy.
super crazy, and he was telling his son like, "What's the point? Like all we're doing is prolonging his life." Like that's a crazy statement. Like you can say that to about a 5-year-old. Like, what's the point of helping him? We're only prolonging his life. He wasn't
Yeah,
saying his pain and suffering. He was just like, let's just throw him away. Like, who cares at this point? So
yeah,
shit, that's just wild. Like, first the disrespect with your foot being on his bed like that. Like, if that, like, I would have flashed if that was somebody. You know what I mean? Like, get your
yeah.
fucking
For
foot down. Like,
for
what is wrong?
real.
So I just feel like it's like an out with the old, in with the new mentality that we have towards
Okay.
it.
Yeah. See, that is a big view. I feel like that our society has when it comes to the elderly. So yeah.
So why do you think it's so easy for the most part for us as a society to just throw away our elders?
I feel like a lot of our society kind of sees them as like a dead weight or a burden. You know what I mean? They don't really see them as like assets or I guess people we could really learn from, which is honestly wild to me because I feel like, I don't know, the older you get, the longer you're on this earth, the more that you see, especially if you stay updated kind of with the times, you know what I mean? Like they have a lot to offer, but we don't really see them like that. It's more just like a dead weight burden and nobody really wants to step up to the plate, you know what I mean, and grab a hold of that. It could be situational, you know, like I'm not gonna get into my entire like family's details, but that's kind of been a problem with like my immediate family, you know what I mean? So in some regards, but yeah, it is it's a tough issue that we have to deal with.
I feel like there's a stigma behind it. Like with age comes ignorance for some reason, as opposed to like with age comes wisdom. Like nowadays it's like, oh, you're just old. Oh, grandma's just old. Times have changed. Times has passed up. Grandma doesn't know anything. Your value's gone now because times have changed. And I feel like that's to push whatever agenda they're pushing nowadays, because things always change. They're always pushing shit. So it's like if we can get them, like, make them look crazy, and then we can just push whatever agenda. So with that, do you believe that there is an agenda like behind throwing away our elderly here in America?
Yeah, I believe so, because like how'd I put it? Like with that detachment from the elderly, it's like there's more division. You know what I mean? Division leads to, I guess, more confusion. Confusion leads to, I guess, putting them in more homes and more money, I guess you could say, for the government. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's all tactics as into like not really let us like get ahead because honestly, the elderly have, I feel like, a lot to offer, especially when it comes to wisdom or the stuff that they've been through. And they always say history repeats itself. So if we keep throwing away our history, then it's gonna keep repeating itself. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah, the history, like I feel like it's definitely. I feel like there's definitely an agenda. Like the most wise people on the planet are the older people, those who live the longest, who have experienced the longest, who have witnessed things. They witness history repeating, so they could be trying to tell us now, like, look, this is the same thing that happened. Like, okay, grandma, you're just old, throw her away. But it's like they could stop you from making those same mistakes. You know what I mean? Like if you go to them for advice, if you listen to them, then they could just be like, no, don't go that path. Like, I see where this path leads, you know?
for sure.
If you're taught that the older generation is crazy, then you believe whatever facts like they're pushing for you now.
Yeah. Oh
It's
well,
wild.
shit. To flip the opposite. Do you think there's anything to be gained from throwing them away? You know what I mean?
Um, I, I don't, not in general. I don't know if I've gained anything from in general, like throwing away the elderly or like devaluing them.
Or
I know, like I don't know what I gained from it, but like throwing away my grandpa, who was a racist piece of shit that died last year or the year before. He was worse than racist, but um, like throwing him like I cussed him out when I was 14. That's the last time I talked to him, and so like for him being gone is like cool. You know what I mean? I don't think that's a generational thing. Obviously, older
yeah,
people tend to have a lean more than nowadays. If that's even true, I don't even know how true that statement is.
for
Um,
sure.
but no, I don't know if in general we gain anything from ignoring them.
I think I don't know, because I'm talking to my girl, you know what I mean? She's from Orland. And a lot of the, I guess Orland wanted to expand. You know what I mean? Like they wanted to get bigger. They wanted to bring in more like stores, more plazas, more this, more that. And it was the elderly community that voted against it, Orland like expanding. You know what I mean? Like they just let, I guess, what, Amazon open up out there in Orland, which provided jobs, provided opportunity. But I feel like in like that aspect, you know what I mean, expansion, because there's a lot of people that they get stuck in their ways. You know what I mean? Older people are definitely stuck in their ways. And I feel like when it comes to like the, I guess, expansion and growing in smaller towns or rural areas, I'm not saying like throw them away, but I feel like in times like that, I don't think it's a terrible thing to kind of like, we're kind of gonna push back what you guys are saying and let our city grow a little bit more, because then it's gonna provide more opportunities for the locals and the upcoming kids in the area, because there's kids everywhere. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah,
And that,
I would play devil's advocate on that just for the debate of the debate.
yeah,
Just say that similarly, like we were saying, like they're older, so they've seen shit change. So they may have seen it before, like what happened when new businesses came in, like what happened to the older businesses, what happened to the mom and pop stores, what happened to family businesses that got shut out because of that expansion. So that could be why they're fighting it now. There could be a basis there.
that's true.
Like Walmart, quick story. Walmart goes around, this is how Walmart expanded. This is their whole solution of how they expanded. They had so much money behind them. They would move into cities, they would lower their prices way lower than the locals could like, you can't deny it because everything was way
Yeah,
lower.
yeah.
The other stores would go out of business, they'd hike their prices up. So they lose all that money on the front end, but they know they're going to get it back because they
Soon
shut everything out.
as, yeah, that's true.
So the older people could be like, "Oh no, I remember my dad had a business that got shut out because they brought in such and such,"
That's true.
or
There's definitely the other side of that as well.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. I don't know anything about the specifics, but you know,
No, it's real. No, it's definitely a good perspective. I was just throwing that out there as well. So
yeah. So to me, I feel like a big value that's lost when we throw away the elders is wisdom. It's life lessons. Like if you have older siblings, which you do, I know I learned a lot just from my brother's mistakes, not repeating those mistakes.
same.
And you learn what really matters in life. You know what I mean? Like an 80-year-old staring at their mortality isn't going to be like, "Hey, young man, fuck bitches, get money." They're not going to say that. You know
You
what I mean?
can never.
They're gonna be like, no, family matters. Like, don't worry about chasing these skirts. Don't worry about, you know what I mean? Like, they're gonna put you on a path of success, even if financial or whatever success they put you on. It's gonna be more straightforward. Like, I wish I would have done these things different. It's gonna limit the amount of times where you got to be like, at some point, even now, like you're 33, right?
Yeah.
So you're 33. I'm sure you're like, man, if I knew everything I knew now when I was 23, right?
Oh man, I would have did so many things different.
Imagine when you're 80, you're gonna be saying the same shit, but heavier. Like that shit's gonna get heavy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But if we're listening to our elders, we can take some of that advice. And I know things change, but we can take some of that advice and apply that to our life now and limit those mistakes and limit that feeling of that I wish I knew then what I knew now.
That's facts. So I agree with you when it comes to throwing away the elderly. We lose a lot of wisdom, understanding, and just, I guess you could say, foresight. You know what I'm saying? So that's real.
Definitely. So what's the best piece of advice you've gotten from an elder?
Um, I don't know. My grandma always says people are gonna do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of always stuck with me. You know, you can't really control people. That's one thing I definitely have learned. So like, I don't know if they're rocking with you or if they're not rocking with you, you can't really force people to do anything that you want. So shit, people are gonna do what they want to do, and it's up to them to learn the lessons and see what's right, what's wrong. Like you can only do your best to try to show people the way, but it can only go so far. What
Yeah,
about you?
it's funny because I thought of this question, right? And I don't have an answer to it. Like not a specific one. I didn't have elders. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have any grandparents. I didn't have my dad. I didn't have uncles and aunts that like were there close to me. I didn't have family friends that were close. You know what I mean? Like I got closer with your grandparents, but it was never like at that point. You know what I mean? Like you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Like for that advice to start coming in. You know?
yeah,
I know when I was 18 and was in anger management, my anger management counselor, he was in his 50s. He still holds a big place in my heart because he's the first one that guided me like to something positive. We started that culture center. He helped hook me up doing music. He had a huge impact on me positively, but I can't think of a specific lesson that I was taught or like something that stuck with me like that.
Yeah. Oh shit, my bad. I'm having malfunctions over here.
That's just
Um,
Donovan.
I get shit, man. I'm gotta work with what I gotta work with right now.
I want to see you make a sandwich and just see how many fucked up things happen. Just making the sandwich. Like I want you to record.
All
I
right,
just want you to record
dude.
yourself make a sandwich.
What kind of sandwich you want me to bake?
I want the most basic. Give me a PB&J. I just want to see how much you fucked that up.
I eat PB&Js regularly, and I make an amazing PB&J sandwich. And breakfast sandwich is actually pretty bomb too. JC was actually surprised that I can cook a little bit. You're just a hater. It's okay though.
Hey, hold on. You tell me you make a PB&J and you can cook a little bit. Like that's
No,
your
I'm
basic.
saying outside of PB&J's breakfast sandwiches, I can still cook a little bit.
What do you eat on the side of your PB&J?
What do I eat with it? Oh, barbecue chips.
You fucked it up. You fucked it up, Donovan.
Barbecue chips.
PB&J. Nobody does that.
PB&J. It's not in the It's not in the PB&J. But PB&J and
it's
barbecue
the same.
chips.
It's in your mouth.
Oh my god, you are insane.
No.
PB&J barbecue chips and a
that.
root beer is undefeated. It is undefeated.
Nobody has ever done that.
Undefeated.
Who taught you that?
Listen, I didn't even say this. My uncle, right? My uncle, I think, where'd he go? I think he went to Texas. He was in Texas or something for like 2 weeks. He came back. He was like, man, all I wanted was a PB&J barbecue chips and a root beer. And I was like, he's like, oh my God. My uncle even said this. I never said anything. But we were on the same page. You just, one day, maybe you'll put it together and you'll see.
I didn't have elders. Maybe that's the problem.
Oh shit. Is there a piece of?
I think it's on me. Unless you did you answer? No, you answered yours. Yeah, it's on me.
Wait, which one?
I'm on. My next question is: have you ever been in a situation where it's hard to respect your elder?
No, I'm before you. What is a hard piece of advice from an elder that doesn't sit right with you?
I guess any traditional advice, like acting like there's a right or wrong way to do things. Like you have to go to college, you have to go this route, you have to, you know what I mean? Like this is the right way to do life. I feel like older people traditionally think like you go to college, you find your sweetheart in high school or college, you get married at 25, you have kids by 26, you know what I mean? Like you get your 30-year loan and you stay in that house until you die. Like there's a traditional way you get in a good job at the mill, you get a good job at whatever, you're there until you're 65 and you retire. Like that is life. So like any type of traditional advice, like telling me I'm wrong for doing X, Y, Z, I'm wrong for not having my retirement set up, I'm wrong for, I'm doing it my way. But like any of that is hard for me to take.
I can definitely say we're on the same page. Like you don't understand how many spam calls I would get because my grandma kept trying to sign me up for like college things online. Like she didn't know what the hell she was doing. I'm just getting spam calls. Oh, we're accepting here. Oh, sign up today for this. I'm like, why am I getting? And then I asked her, I said, Grandma, did you? She was like, I just want the best for you. I'm like, I love you to death, but please stop. Like, I'm not going back to college. Like that, no. Like times have changed. Times are very different. That is not going to get me where you think it's going to get me. So,
or where you want to go.
Yeah, or where I want to go. So for sure.
That's funny. What you should do is you should take up a Craigslist ad. You should put her address and phone number on there and say home for sale by owner, and just let people just call her all the fucking time.
That's fucked up.
Put it for like $200K and just say for sale by owner.
No.
She'll just get mad phone calls. Nothing bad's gonna happen. She's gonna get mad phone calls.
Obviously, but still, that would annoy the shit out of her. I can't do that to Grams.
That's funny though.
It is funny.
Okay, so
like thinking about this, right? So let's say I did take your advice in this situation and I did this.
Okay, wait.
If she found out, do you understand what's coming at me? A broom, a shoe.
Oh, I already know what's gonna happen. You're gonna say
rings.
No, do it. And then it's gonna be Pizza Box all over again. We're going all the way back to 06.
It could be Pizza Box, but I'm also on the receiving end because I listen. So for sure.
So have you been in a situation where it's hard for you to to respect your elder?
I don't know about like respect because I'm pretty respectful to elders. Like I don't know, they could say whatever they want to say, and if it's something I don't agree with, I walk away. But like me and my grandma, she's vaccinated, you know what I mean? And when I did, because I got COVID, I think I got it twice or something like that. But I don't ever get sick. That's what's wild. Like I haven't been sick before this in like 3 years, and she would cuss me out. You're just blah, blah, blah. You're being a dumbass. You're following the trust of white ringers and like I just got it, and I'd be like, Gramps, it's not happening. It's not. I'm sorry. Like we would butt heads and go back and forth. And she called me stupid, hung up on me a couple times, but no, I don't ever take offense to it. Because then she calls me back the next day and talking about I love you, like it's all love. I don't know, but that's probably the only time that I've ever, I guess, not really respected an elder.
That's
What about
fair.
you?
Yeah, I almost put hands on this 85-year-old like 10
No,
years ago.
no. Why?
Let me explain. I didn't. Obviously, I didn't. But he had me very close. Your mom was actually involved in this story, so I'd tell you the story. So I'm painting the culture center, and I can tell you the whole story of the culture center and how I don't own that motherfucker right now. But this is in the middle of that. So I'm painting the culture center, right? Um, and there's this old dude who's painting it with me, and he's like in his 80s. And I got TJ a job; he helped paint too. So we're the painting crew, right? Painting the culture center. So we're painting, and he would just say shit. Like I don't know why he would say shit. Like he talked shit about Orville all the time. It didn't bother me because I don't, like why would it? Like he said something like Orville Lovely's shit. I don't know what the fuck he said. He was just talking shit, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. So we're painting, and your mom's in there in the culture center, and those two are going at it, and he's being hella disrespectful. Like he's saying shit, and so like I'm yelling at him, whatever. Your mom leaves. I don't know what happened. I don't even remember what it was. A long ass time ago. She leaves, and he's saying things to me, and he's like he's like when a cat walks up to you and he's close enough where like he's like almost squaring up on you, and you're
Mm-hmm.
like, and I'm like, this nigga's about to get knocked the fuck out. Like he's literally like 85 years old, little old black dude, but he's like fist balled, like talking to me about respect, and I'm talking to him about the way he's talking to her, and like it was almost on right there. So I was like, this dude, like just a quick one. He's 85. Like have respect with it, but give him a quick one. But I didn't, and he's probably dead now, is my guess. But
Well,
God
I
got
don't
him.
know.
God got him.
You're a fool. I don't know. Not to bring up like IG or anything, but I actually did see something funny as fuck recently. It was uh it was an old ass white dude. He had to be like 70, something like that. I think he was talking to like another black dude. He wasn't like that young either. He was probably like 45s, 50s or something like this. But he's like trying to explain how there's a difference between black people and niggers. And out of respect for the elderly, he didn't punch him with his fist, but he slapped the shit out of this white dude back and forth. I mean, oh, you just heard like oh my god. And don't you ever say this ever, do this, keep that word about. I was in tears, but I was like, damn. I feel like there are limits to where you kind of have to know, even as like an older person, like you can't really cross certain boundaries.
Those are hard, man. Like again, where's the line? I never thought about that question. Where's the line? Never came up in my mind ever before we started this, because I believe you asked it a few times. But that question comes up all the time, because where is the line? Like 90-year-old dude with swastikas tattooed all over him. He's been this way his whole life. I'm not saying it's that situation. I'm just painting the picture. He's been this way his whole life. Now he's losing his mind a little bit, so he's being more vocal and outward with it. And he just stepped to you and started throwing the N-word at you. It's like clearly you can't stomp him out. Clearly that's not the right thing to do,
Not at
but
all.
clearly it's not okay to just stand there and allow that either. It's like someone in a wheelchair, somebody who's blind running their mouth. You know what I mean? Like what are you supposed to do? I don't know if there's a right answer. I know there's some wrong answers, but those are hard. Like I think I would do something. I wouldn't just slapped him, I don't think, but like
I would have just walked away. Like me personally, like I don't know if we're both old like that, then shit, we're both old. Like I'm chunking them. But like, I don't know, the age that I'm right now, I probably would have walked away. If he would have touched me, I'm not gonna hit the old dude, but like, I might have tripped him. You know what I mean? Like, I might have,
No,
I might have tripped him. Like a nice little, like, no, like, don't touch me. I said, oh,
I'm taking that nigga's shoes. I think that's the line. Like, I'm taking your shoes.
sleeping with no shoes.
I'm taking your shoes. Like, I have to do something fucked up to you, but I can't hurt you. Like, I'm taking your shoes. Like, give me your fucking shoes.
What if you took one shoe?
You're not walking with 2 feet after today. Like, you gotta scuff up your bottom of your feet. Something. I don't know. I don't know. Again, where's the line? Like, would I actually do that? It's funny to say it. Would I do it? I don't know. I'd probably walk away, but would I feel justified if I took his shoes? Yeah. Like, I don't feel like I didn't.
Honestly, I still feel like it's one shoe. Like when you get older, you're not mobile like that. So if you got one hip going down and one hip up, you know what I mean? That's gonna fuck him up walking more than taking both shoes. Like that's gonna fuck up his whole hips, his spine, everything is gonna be
Trying to
off.
fuck up his equilibrium.
Exactly.
For calling you a nigga. Take it.
Uh-huh.
Even like fail videos and shit. Like we have a Samsung TV. I didn't know Samsung. You get like free cable on a Samsung Smart TV. Like it's not the best, but you have like 60 channels and it's all free, right? So like they have like failed TV and stuff. People fall in, people whatever. I watch it at night before I go to sleep. It makes me laugh. But anytime an old person falls, like I can't watch it. Like I turn my head. That shit's sad to me because I know the smallest fall could like kill somebody. You know, like
yeah.
So that's just hard for me to watch.
It is. I feel you.
That's funny. So speaking of respect, speaking along those same lines, do the same rules of respect? Do you have the same like rules of respect with older people than you do as you do with your peers, or is it different?
No, it's different. Like an older person can go that far, you know what I mean? But somebody else that's around my age or something like that, or younger than me, especially well, as long as it's not a kid, but you know what I mean, like 18, something like that, is talking all wild. If if you take it too far, you start talking about my family. If you're talking about me, it's a different story. Like that's something my brother's always told me. If someone's talking about you, they call you a bitch, they call you this, they call you that, you're this, you're that. Just be like, all right, cool, whatever. You won't touch me. You know what I'm saying? They talk about your family. That's a different story. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's definitely a boundary when it comes to like my peers and when it comes to elderlies. It's completely different.
Yeah, I think it's similar to like the rules I have for like women and elderly. Like if a woman's talking crazy, call me inward, I'm still not putting my hands on her. Like I will never
Yeah,
put my hands on a woman. No,
that's a good analogy.
you know, it doesn't mean they're weak. It doesn't mean blah blah blah. How people will say, "Oh, some women could whoop your ass." I'm sure some women could whoop my ass. Like some women are about it, right? But I'm still not going to touch you. Like you got to walk
That's
away.
real.
You got to find a way. It's the same respect to. It's the same rules to an extent. There's just more grace.
No, that's real. Should I actually funny story, middle school. Something happened in the office where this girl was messing around and she tried to like spin me around. I spun her around, like push me off, and she ended up punching me in my face. And out of respect for her and women, I just took it, went and sat down and just waited for my grandma to come. And I sat there. I was fuming. I was like, I want to fight this person, but there's nothing you could do.
Nothing. I've been slapped a handful of times by women. There's nothing you could do. You just maybe not a handful, a few.
I was about to say, why are women slapping you on the regular? What are you doing?
No, a couple times in high school.
That's funny.
Just being stupid, you know, like nothing crazy, but you know.
You try to palm their head?
No, I only did that to my favorite girl.
Yeah, that's a terrible, terrible statement. Keep going.
It's your turn. I'm it. That's it. Get
But
slapped. Sometimes you deserve to get slapped. And have you ever been hit? Yeah. Have you ever been hit and you're like, I kind of deserve that, and then you don't even retaliate because you're like, yeah, I should have done that.
nah,
Okay.
not really. Like I can't think of because I didn't do anything super crazy. You know what I'm saying to like other people. Just feel I didn't want anybody to do anything super crazy to me. So yeah. No.
I was an asshole though. For me, it was a constant battle of like trying to figure out what it was to be a man. Like that was my entire high school, young adulthood. Like, I don't fucking know what I'm doing.
You had fun though, or it was fun. Some things were fun.
Some things were fun.
Some things for sure. All right. If you believe in politics, should there be an age limit for too old? Do you think?
No. I feel like there's, on the surface, I feel like that's an obvious yes, right? Because like,
Yeah.
oh, it's an obvious yes. But no, I don't think so. As long as you still have your mental faculties about you, I don't
Yeah.
feel like it's like discrediting their wisdom again. It's like
It's
saying
facts.
I don't trust your 80 years experience, 90 years experience, 70, whatever that cutoff would be. If anything, I feel like we need to raise the voting age. No fucking 18-year-old should be making any decisions that have anything to do with it. You're a fucking idiot. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care how much experience you have in politics. You haven't experienced life enough to understand anything to be making any decisions that affects other people's lives. Like, we need to raise that bitch to like 25.
That's
Like,
funny. I've thought that many
that's
of times.
crazy.
That's why, to be honest, is some people call it ignorant. Politics are not the fucking way. I don't believe in politics, but I agree with what you're saying about the age limit for sure. For sure.
Obviously, like, there's a time where we have to protect our loved ones. There's a time we have to protect everyone. Similarly, like, sometimes people get so old they shouldn't be driving anymore, right? Like, whether it's their eyesight or your reflexes just so slow, or you're not all the way there anymore, you forget. You know what I mean? Like you protect people that way.
Yeah,
That if you can't make your own decisions, then you shouldn't be voting. But
that's
if you
true.
can,
I was also looking at, I don't know, the aspect of like them being stuck in their ways and not really open to change. So when it comes to that, like, why do you think the elderly aren't really open to change? You know what I mean? Why do you think they get so stuck in their ways?
I think the younger we are, we take any change as progress. I think, like,
Yeah,
if you're like 18, like, oh, we're changing these things, progress. I think the elderly understand all change isn't progress. We pretend in society every time we move, we're moving forward, and that's a fucking lie. Like, we move
yeah,
backwards a lot,
yeah, we
but
do.
we say, oh, that's progress. We're making change because we're changing things.
We're
So
going
I
shit.
feel
We're
like
going backwards right now. God damn it. We
in a lot of ways.
shit is insane. Insane.
So I feel like they can see when we're going backwards easier, because again, they, like, if you're born hella long ago and you see how something was, and then the progress is made, right? So, like, let's say you're not allowed to do A, and then they're like, yeah, we saw, we fought, we now we're allowed to do A, right? And then nowadays, like, yeah, take away A, and the older people are like, we fought for A, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this, we're going backwards now, but we don't know.
Yeah,
We don't know what we're doing, and so we just ignore them. Again, old people, throw them away.
it's real. It's just real. No, I agree with you. All right. Kind of a funny question just because in the light of what has happened recently,
Recent events.
very recent events, when does irresponsibility turn into elder abuse?
One, I would say intent. Not always intent, obviously, because
Mm-hmm.
it could be elderly abuse without intent. But it also depends on your role in that person's life, like the role you play in that person's life. If you're a caretaker, if you're responsible for their well-being, um, if you're a random person, like, I feel like it matters what role you are in their life.
I feel it. So I definitely agree with you. I'm gonna say intent. You know what I mean? Like reasoning behind why you did it. It just all right. So what happened was, just for the people out there listening to the podcast, my little brother decides to bring in an edible into my grandparents' house and say, "Here you go." I said, "What's this?" He says, "It's edible." I said, "I don't want this." So
Jello,
yeah,
right?
it's a Jello. So I just move it away. I'm like, dude, I don't want this. Like, why are you giving me this? One, if it's not from like somebody I know, like personally know, like a family, super close friend, or a dispensary, I'm not touching any kind of weed like at all. It's just not happening. Like, I don't know where the fuck that Jello came from. So I just scooted it away. I told him, I was like, dude, I don't want this. So I just was like, nah, I set it down. Like, don't give me this. So apparently, like when we both walked out, my grandma put it in the refrigerator. Later on, she goes on to eat the edible and she calls me and she's like, hey, Oh, mind you, she was in the kitchen when Isaiah said it was edible. I just don't think she heard it. But she eats it and she's like, I ate that Jello something. I was like, what are you talking about? The Jello. What? I was like, Grandma, what do you mean the Jello? And I was like, the Jello. I was like, Grandma, that was an edible. She goes, oh no. Like it was just, oh no. Let me call Isaiah. So she
She
calls my
said,
little,
"Oh, she said that."
yeah, she said, let me call Isaiah. So she calls Isaiah. Isaiah's in the shower. And then he ends up calling me. And then he's like, yo, Grandma ate the edible laughing. I'm like, dude, like, it's funny, but it's not funny. I'm like, where did you get it from? And he's like, I got it from work, this, and this. I'm like, what, how many milligrams is it? I don't know. I'm like, dude, that shit, like, it's not funny. Call your friends, find out how many, right? That shit was 150. Bro, that was a strong fucking edible. Like, that little nigga tried to give that to me. Like, no, like,
How big? How big was this Jello?
it was like a Jello shot.
Gotcha.
It was like a Jello shot. Like, a little scoop from the Jello would have been enough to get like you up there like good. She ate the whole goddamn thing. So yeah, she got rushed to the hospital super quick, and she was like under close observation. But my uncles are pissed. My uncle was like, "I'm gonna come shoot him. I'm gonna come get like they're still pretty fucking mad." But I don't know. It's kind of like that fine line of like, is that elder abuse, or you know what I mean? Because the irresponsibility of that is, yeah,
I think
I don't know.
if your grandma hated your brother and she wanted to make it elder abuse, she might be able to try to make it elder abuse. But I think that would like,
For sure.
is she gonna like go out of her way to like press charges and call it elder abuse? No.
Nah, Grams wouldn't do that, but still, that shit was funny.
She's good
Now,
now.
like after the fact, yeah, she's fine now. I was joking with her
Now it's
today.
fucking hilarious.
Now it's funny, but I was joking with her today. I was like, "How you doing, pothead?" She said, "Shut up! It's like, it's not funny."
You've been trying to get her to smoke for a minute too.
No, I've been trying to take like little edibles, like 5 milligrams. You know what I mean? Like, because she had a couple, and I was like, why not take them? You know what I mean? Like 5 isn't gonna do anything but relax you, and especially like, you know what I mean? Like when you're having body pain or something like that, you know, like take one, sit down on the couch, and just relax.
A body high is different though
Yeah,
than smoking. So I would think it would fuck you up more because she doesn't smoke and hasn't smoked. Like it's a
yeah.
different.
No, that's why we rushed her to the hospital.
That's
So
funny though.
that shit is crazy,
That's
crazy
funny.
as hell. I think it's on you.
So what are your thoughts on? We're gonna switch gears, go a little deeper. What are your thoughts on putting elderly people in like old folks' homes?
I feel like white people do it. Like I don't know. Like me personally, that's just I would never put my grandma or my grandpa in a home if I had to find a way to you know what I mean, to get them to live with me, you know what I mean, support them however I can, like I'm gonna do it. Like I guess shit, when it comes to me or a lot of people of color, you know what I mean, our grandparents play such a big role in our lives just because like not all of our parents are always there, you know what I'm saying? So like our view when it comes to the elderly is completely different. So I personally don't believe in like putting elderly like in a home unless it's you're really incapable of like, you know what I mean, watching over them because they're on like this or they need like a breathing apparatus, like you know what I'm saying, like you can't give them the time that they deserve because you actually really do have to support yourself because they need damn near close to like, I don't know, 24-hour like monitoring, you know what I mean? So in that case, like maybe, but nah.
Yeah, I feel strongly about that one. It's very similar. Like if you're completely incapable, right? Like if there's a condition, if there's a physical reason why you
Yeah,
something like that, then yeah, I'm glad that there are places where you can put them. I wish they weren't so goddamn expensive, but I'm glad that there is that help there for that. Otherwise, fuck no. Like I feel that to my core. Like that shit. Like I talked to like my wife's mom was only like 52, something like that, and she'll or 51 something, but she'll be like, yeah, when I get older, just put me in a home. Like shut up. Like why would we do that? There's no way in hell we would ever do that. You know what I mean? And she wouldn't do that to anybody, but she doesn't want to be an inconvenience. And to
Yeah.
me, it's so there's a cycle here, right? I feel like okay, so you're 33, you have older people in your life, right? And you have younger people in your life. When you have kids one day, like you're supposed to take care of the older people in your life, and then they pass on, you get older, your kids take care of you, you pass on, they get older,
Cycle continues.
the cycle continues, right? But I feel like that concept, it's supernatural, but that concept is so foreign in most people's lives. Like, people don't want to be inconvenienced, people are selfish. I feel like there's a mentality of selfishness, and I know, like, if certain people would hear this and they'd get upset, right? And I don't care. Like, good, get upset. Like, it's bullshit to me. You know what I mean? Like, I'll stand on that. Like, to anybody, like, that's crazy. My mom will
So
never go home. Nobody's ever going into a fucking home.
I feel it. So that kind of leads into the next question. Like, is it beliefs that cause like that division between the new generation and the elderly of why they, you know what I mean, believe the things that they do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think it's belief, right? There's a division, but there's also this desire for every generation wants to push the envelope on everything. So it's always like you're trying to push shit and make shit uncomfortable for the previous generation. Like, everybody keeps doing that shit, especially since, like, not that I was there, but since like the beginning of TV and shit, right? So an example, I Love Lucy, the TV show, right? So like back then, I don't know what year that was, 60s maybe, right?
Shit, I
50s,
never watched it. I have no idea.
I don't know. But her and her husband, they slept in two twin beds. The beds weren't even able to be connected, right? Because that was like, looking at it as like, okay, that's doing too much on TV to put them to bed together, to even suggest that they sleep together. All the TV shows back then were like that, right? And
That's
then it's like,
wild.
yeah, and then they push for like kissing on TV was like, oh, you're showing kissing on TV. And then it's just like there's this push of like, okay, what else can we do? What else can we do? What else can we do? And then you look at like Family Guy and shit. And I'm not on a high horse or a soapbox talking about any of that. I'm just saying, what can we push? What can we show? I feel like eventually we're gonna get to a place where it's like, okay, full frontal nudity is fine on TV, and there's gonna be people gonna be like, I want penetration. I want to see penetration on ABC, and then they're gonna be like, all right, penetration is cool. And it's gonna be like, let's bring in the animals. Like, it's always like to push and push and push. I'm just saying, like, shit just gets wilder. Shit gets wilder.
You said, let's bring in the animals.
So I'm saying, if you're from a generation where you're like, okay, like, I'm cool with the beds being pushed together, but do we need to see penises every time we turn on ABC? Then you're not gonna be cool with that shit, you know? And then the next generation's like, yeah, I like penetration, but do you need so many ducks? You know, like, it's always gonna be expanding, and then the next generation's gonna be like, fuck a duck, like, I want a donkey. Like, it's just, everything's always gonna go more and more. It's ridiculous, but I'm just
If you
saying,
want to
like,
see a donkey, you just got to
I
go to
don't want.
Mexico. I
I'm
heard.
not.
I've never been. I just heard.
I never want you to ask me again, like, if you ever want to see a donkey, and then I don't want your directive. Like, if I ever want some freaky shit that no one should want, I'm gonna come to you, Donovan. You
Just go
tell
to
me.
Mexico if you ever want to see a donkey. You know what I mean? It's there. That's just I've heard.
But you
Never been
see,
though.
you see the points I'm trying to make, and
I see the point.
that's on one aspect of something. So it's always a push the envelope. It's always, there's like, it's never gonna stop. It's only going in that direction of, let's get more absurd. Let's do more. Like, there's not gonna be a push of like, let's put on more clothes. Let's have more self-respect. You know what I mean? Like, that's never gonna happen. It's gonna be, what more can we do on this side to get more ridiculous? I want to see murderers on TV. Like, why are you covering their faces? You know what I mean? So it's only gonna get crazier. So I feel like every generation is gonna feel this way.
So my next question was: is it possible to overcome that generational gap? You know what I mean? Like, as time goes on, things get crazier. You think it's possible to like stop that progression into only crazier?
No, it's not stopping.
Mm.
I don't know what generations are. Like, so let me be that guy for a minute. Like, I don't know the concept of generations. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Are we talking
Me,
about?
you, JC, we're like a generation, right? And then my little brothers is like, I think, what are we, generation what? Like X and Z or something like that. I think we're X and they're like generation Z. So like them, that's a generation, we're a generation. My brother, like David and Aaron, is a generation, and then it goes to like my mom. You get what I'm saying? So mom's
I
like
no,
60s.
I hear you, but I'm saying it doesn't make sense. Like it's all make believe in my mind. Like there's no such thing as generations. And I know we speak on it like that, but there's not. Is it like, are we judging between like the time you were born and then the time now, and what events occurred during that time, and so now you think differently? Because
Yeah,
if so though, we have to be talking about geographically then, because different geographical locations are experiencing things differently. Not now so much because of social media, but like you can't say everyone born 1900 to 1930 is this generation. Like that's not the same in Germany as it is here in Australia and in Sudan, and it's not the same. You didn't experience the same shit. So is there
I get what you're
really
saying.
a such thing as generation? Because some places might be in the year 2022 where other places would look like they're in the year 1800. So what, you know what I mean? Like
I
generations
feel
aren't
like
real.
I feel like maybe it's a United States, you know what I mean, thing. It's a US thing. So I can't really speak for other countries because like where we are developed, there's so many other countries that are way underdeveloped, you know what I mean? So I get what you're saying, but I think people are looking at it in the aspect of the boom in technology, you know what I mean, and the impact that technology has had on our society here in the US. You know what I'm saying? Because like growing up, I didn't have Instagram or was it YouTube like these kids have it now. Like if I had that back then, like I would have went D1 100%. The shit that I was doing on a basketball court, you know what I mean? Like people filming and recording all of that. I used to throw people shit off the backboard, and I'm only like 5'10". Step backs, fadeaways, jump. Like I was hitting people, right? And
Yeah.
like the way that people mix up mixtapes nowadays, how they make everything look so cool. You know how many videos or dope kind of videos I would have had back then as a kid? I would have been the fucking so-called man. But like, no, like it's different. Like their kind of technology and how they see the world and the direction that the world is going from, like their view is completely different than
Yes,
how
but
we see the world or what we grew up on. You know what I'm
but
saying?
it's also how you grow up. It's also where you grew up. Even in America, it's where you grew up. It's your socioeconomic background. It's what you were exposed to, as opposed to not exposed to. It's whether your parents are Democrats or Republicans, or if they're free thinking, or if you know what I mean. Like you're going to think of things differently. So I'm just saying. Yes, I understand the concept of generations. I'm just saying it's not linear like that. Like it's not black and white like that.
Yeah.
So to overcome, like I don't know if there's anything to overcome.
I guess what I'm trying to say is it's the elderly's inability to see things a different way. You know how I'm saying? Like things go backwards. I guess they see what has been coming out is us going backwards. You know what I mean? They can't see through the eyes of somebody younger that's maybe in their 19s, 18, 20s. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
But
I I
here's a
look
bonus.
back at what's up.
Here's a bonus question though, because I feel like our conversation is leading towards like the elderly are wrong. I feel like the elderly are right for most of the shit they're doing, or they say, like
Yeah,
like there's a destructive manner of things. The elderly are thrown away. Like you look at our culture, look at hip hop. Like once you hit 30, like they look at you like you're old as fuck, right?
which is
So,
insane.
so like they sign you at 18, 17. They
You
keep
have
you
when
dumb
you have when you have nothing really to fucking say, because
at all.
honestly,
They keep you dumb. You don't evolve because you were successful being ignorant. Why would you change? So you continue that pattern. That's what gets pushed. And then it's like, no, anybody over 30, y'all niggas just don't whatever. Like you can't tell me music coming out today is better than music with a concept, with a message from the generation before. But this new
not
generation, like,
even.
oh, y'all old niggas just aren't getting with the times. Like, fuck your times. Like it's not
Yeah,
about it's nothing that to get over to
it's
overcome. It's
it's
like
it's
y'all
100%
are wrong.
going backwards. It's what we
Correct.
were talking about. It's 100% going backwards. So yes, I 100% agree with you when it comes to that, for sure,
So these
for
new people
sure.
just don't know shit. Again,
It
trying to vote at 18, they don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's hard because there's like pros and cons to all of this shit. If you get what I'm saying, like the way that technology is now and the way that you can promote yourself and put yourself on, you weren't able to do this back in the day, so it made it a lot easier for other people to get their voice out. But it's kind of what we're putting out is fucking ass. So it's hard. Like
It's hard because it's a oversaturated market. You
yeah.
will. I know you're just now really getting into music. Hopefully, you start releasing some things here soon. It's disheartening though, man. Like people won't click it. They won't click it. It's not that your music's good, bad, whatever. They're not even gonna listen to it because there's so much trash that 99.9% of the time when they do click it, it's bullshit. So I get it. You know, like, hey, listen to my music, listen to my music. Like, no, nigga, you just gonna be another. I thought J. Cole and Kendrick was the same, not the same person, but like I thought they were the same as all the other bullshit. I wouldn't even click their music for years because I was like, no, it's like none of these new cats are good. Like they're all fucking trash. Like I'm not clicking on them. And then Cole, the only one I heard was that what's her face remake, the straight up the Paula Abdul remake. That was the only one I had heard from him. So like I'm not even giving him a chance. You know what I mean? And so I get it, but the oversaturation of it makes it very hard to stand out unless you're gonna rainbow dye your hair, you're gonna face tattoo, you're gonna visually look away to make someone say, why is this nigga riding a pony naked with his penis off to the side? Let me click this to see what he's talking about. You know what I mean? And then by that point, like, does your message even matter anymore?
Well, by that time, I feel like you're, at least in my eyes, your message is kind of out the window. But
Right. So now all your fan base is someone who saw you riding on a horse naked with your penis out. Like that's who your fan base is now. Like people who are into that. You know, like I don't want your fucking. Don't listen to my music.
I get it. But I'm saying like, for those who actually do have a message, you know what I mean? Like it does give them a way to get their message out. It's just that not enough people are actually trying to put out what the fuck is actually going on and saying real shit. So, and a lot of people are just rocking with the dumb shit just because, I don't know, younger generations think that shit is cool or think that shit's fun, but it's actually not. They fucking get older and realize that shit's not as cool as they fucking thought it was, because then they gotta fucking face real life and then shit hits the fan and yeah, shit changes. But
What music do your grandparents listen to?
shit, BB King and Zydeco.
Right. So they're not just changing with the times. Like they don't like this new shit. You know, like
Yeah,
imagine your grandma talking about or whatever the fuck these kids are doing, like with the
yeah.
sound.
But
Like,
shit,
like
to be honest, I listen to everything though, from Sam Cooke, Marvin Gaye, to Tracy Chapman, to John
I'm with
Mayer, to Ben Harper, to J. Cole, to Kendrick, to I don't know, there's another rapper like Coda the Friend. Like he actually had a couple like cool songs that were like positive. Like there's some young cats. Like Joey Badass is hard. Like that fool, like he's always gassing. Like he's a pretty young cat. He's like what 23, 20, 20, 22, 23, 24 maybe. I don't know, but like there's younger artists that are doing it. It's just there's not enough.
I'm just saying you don't just change with the time. Like it's going back to that question, like overcoming that. Like you don't want to overcome that. You know what I mean? Like it's your shit.
Yeah,
Like
I
you
get
don't
what you're
like this
saying.
new shit. You know?
Yeah, I feel it.
Okay, so have you noticed how different cultures, different people from different backgrounds treat their elders?
Yeah, 100%. Asians, for one, you know what I mean? They have a lot more respect for the elderly, and you could kind of see in traditions, customs. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, how far back they've kept a hold of all their herbs or medicinal herbs and everything that they do. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that shit has been passed down from generation to generation, and it's still respected. And just how they treat their elderly, like, from what it looks like or from what I've seen and heard, that there's a lot more respect in their community for sure.
Yeah, I know. When I like before the whole COVID thing, when we would go down to California, we'd be around my wife's family because they're Filipino. There's this one little lady who's like sleeping on the couch all the time. Like I don't even know who she is, but she's on the couch sleeping.
Probably right.
She's but you're never gonna tell her to leave. You know, like it's a respect thing, and she's a friend of the family. She's not just random. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like from what was that, Half Baked, like the guy on the couch, the niggas didn't even know who that was. Not like that,
Yeah.
but like there's a completely different level of respect. It seems like most other cultures um they care for their elders. Everybody but Americans do. Like the idea of my mother, my anybody like not being taken care of is crazy to me. Like it just doesn't make sense. Like the lack of respect for people who took care of you to now just be like, no, go fuck yourself. Like, I can't fuck with you as a person if you feel that way because it says other things about your character. Like,
True.
this person raised me. They wiped my ass. They taught me all this shit. Like, they've been there for me forever. Now they need me. You can go fuck yourself. Like, I'm not rocking with you because that tells me something about your character as a
True.
human. Like, it's deeper than that.
True. Well, shit. My next question is, instead of that they can, should the elderly try to keep up with the curve of change?
Oh, I don't see a need to. Same like going back to your grandparents and their music. Like, that's what they're into. I love hip hop. Like hip hop has been everything to me, right? It's like, to me, I'm not gonna just roll with the punches. Like, oh, get with the times. Like, if you see me wearing skinny jeans, I want you to put a bullet in my head. It's not for me. I'm not gonna just like I wore baggy pants. Like, that was what I was comfortable with. Like, it's crazy to me to see like Jadakiss and like the rappers that are older than me like rocking the skinny jeans and shit like that. Cause like you just whatever the fuck they tell you to do, huh? Like, so were you into the baggy shit or you were just doing it because you were told to? Are you into the tight shit or you just doing it because you're told to? Like, what is you? Like, what's your personality? What is your like? I don't feel a need to change. Like, I'm not gonna auto tune my shit because everybody wants me to auto tune my shit. You know? Like,
I
there's
get
not
what
a
you're saying, but like, I don't know. There's what is that saying? Is it the clothes don't make the man, or the clothes do make the
yeah.
man? I can't.
Clothes don't make the man. The man makes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the man makes the clothes. You know what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying, but like, I don't know. You got to kind of, I guess you could say, Jadakiss rocking skinny jeans, right? If it was in, and that's what the hoes like, that's he's
So
that he's that kind of person, I guess. You know what I mean? Like
I'm saying, so
it,
you're just doing what you're told. Like, you're just flowing with whatever the fuck they tell you to do. That's what you're doing.
but that doesn't change his character or his morals or his beliefs.
No, it
You
doesn't.
know what I'm
I'm
saying?
not saying it does, but if it's face tattoos or nothing, all right, I'll take nothing. Like, don't just. I'm not gonna just do it because I'm
That
told to.
that's completely different. That's like permanent. Clothing is something you throw on, you throw
I'm
off.
saying you're just going with the times. You're changing with the times. You're okay. We mumbling now. Okay, well, let me start mumbling. Okay, we're auto tuning now. Let me start auto tuning. Okay, now we're, you know what I mean. Now it's 30-second songs. All right, 30-second songs. We're doing that now. Like, do you? So when you're just doing everybody else, like, what the fuck are you? You're just riding waves. Like, nigga, you don't even have a wave then.
Now, I feel what you're saying, but like me personally, I can even say about myself, like shit, I used to have the baggiest jeans back in the day. And my jeans are never and will never, nigga, my legs are too goddamn skinny as it is. I will never have skinny jeans. But are my jeans actually fitted now? Like, do they, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've cleaned up my style just because it looks a little bit cleaner. You know what I mean?
But you matured. You matured a
Yeah,
little. Right?
exactly.
My shit is not. I'm not wearing 10XL shirts and shit. You know, like I'm not doing that anymore. But I'm saying, like, I'm not gonna just, oh, what's the play? Like, what are we doing? Okay, cool. Let me order this off or whatever. These niggas out here looking like ice cream cones. Like, they
Yeah,
big up
some people.
top and skinny ass jeans. Like, what are you doing? Like, you got
Yeah,
3 scoops on top.
I feel like is skinny jeans played out now? Huh?
I'm not jumping to get in my pants. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like I take that back. I'd be seeing niggas in skinny jeans still. It'd be like halfway down past their fucking ankles. I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know what they're doing either.
It's weird. All right, so you.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the last question.
No. Oh, you combined your two.
Hmm.
Smart. Okay, so I'm gonna jump into yours anyway. So should they even try to adapt or change? So no, because there's no need to. Skinny jeans, blah blah blah, everything I just said. I just feel like truth and facts never change, right? Like, acceptance changes, what people like, perception of truth changes, perception of things change, but truth and facts never change. So if you were right in the '60s, you're right now. Like, nothing changed,
Yeah,
you know.
I can hear what you're saying.
So is there something you're looking forward to when you get older?
Um, Getting away from everybody and fishing. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be fishing when I'm older. That's one thing I'm gonna be doing. Playing my guitar, sitting back. Like honestly, you know how you see like the old dudes in the rocking chairs? Like it'd be like that would be nice. Old dude in the rocking chair, take my boat out, go fishing. You know what I mean? Playing my guitar. I know sounds hella country as shit, but still,
I
like,
see you with some wheat hanging out your mouth.
not. I was gonna say eating sunflower seeds, but
Same.
like, I, I don't know, man. The only thing I'm looking forward to when I'm old is kind of honestly getting away, because at some point, you know what I mean, like what I'm trying to do now, especially with music, I want to put out a message. You know what I'm saying? I want to say the things that I want to hear. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to positivity. So at some point, I need to get this shit out there and get this shit rolling. So I've been talking to my cousin, and like I was over at his house the other day. So now that I have somebody that seems like they're on the same page as me, wants to like really do this shit, you know what I mean? It's gonna make it more fun. And whether it goes someplace or whether not, but when I'm old, I feel like I'm not gonna care anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited to get the hell away from everybody, not care, and see my family when I see my family, visit my grandchildren, and yeah, fish and chill. What about you?
Just for it to be more, not that it matters, but just for it to be more socially acceptable for me to not give a fuck. I feel like I'm already there mentally. I feel like my age doesn't match up with that, so people don't like to accept that. Like, just get to a point where it's like, I'm gonna shit my pants now because I want to. Like, I'm done being here. I'm gonna shit my pants. You can carry me out. Like, oh, Grandpa's done. I just stop talking and I just sit there, and like, and it's like, oh, that's just Grandpa. You know what I mean?
I'm not shitting my
Like,
pants. It
like
doesn't matter what age I
I'm
am.
saying,
If you
I'm
want to
saying,
shit on yourself, then you can go ahead and do that.
I'm
And if
saying,
I'm old and sitting next to you, nigga, I'm gonna throw something at you. If you're in a wheelchair, I'm gonna kick the wheelchair away from me if I'm able. Do not shit in your pants.
I'm just saying, you do
No.
whatever, it's an example of doing whatever the fuck you want. Like, who cares? No, like the grace is extended. I want my wheelchair to have some speakers on it, maybe some spinners from back in my day, and just be rocking out. Like, who fucking cares?
I hope I'm not in a wheelchair.
I don't feel like you're understanding what I'm saying. I'm just saying that's what I want it to be. I just want to do whatever the fuck I want to do. I want to sit on my porch, and if somebody
Whatever.
walks by, shoot them with a BB gun because I can. Like, get the fuck away from my house. You know?
How many pumps? That matters.
How much do I like you?
That matters.
How, do-
It's
how
very important.
okay, how strong am I? How many times can I pump it?
I don't know, nigga. I hope you should be able to pump a BB gun like a 10 pump to 10 pumps.
Oh, 10 to 15 gets kind of tough sometimes. I'm talking, all right, fuck it, nigga, airsoft. Shotgun. I don't give a shit.
Airsoft. Okay, I'll fuck with it.
All right, so the closing message I have just in my head is like I feel like we should all have a high level of empathy for elderly. Like that's something that if we are lucky enough to experience being elderly, we are all going to have to deal with growing older, being slower, people needing people that be more patient, processing things a little slower mentally, walking slower, not being able to understand everything, not being as self-reliant and having to deal with that emotionally, like you can't take care of yourself as much, and possibly feeling like we're being thrown away, you know? So
Yeah,
I feel like it should be a basic component of life to respect our elders and to give that grace because we've never been there, but hopefully we get there and we're gonna want the same.
yeah, it's real. I agree.
All right, to
I
Opinionated,
got
episode 20 in the
peace.
books.
Sorry about the darkness background. At some point, it's gonna be light. You're gonna see this beautiful face.
Don't ever
Everything gonna be
apologize
good.
for your darkness, Donovan. Episode 20.
I'm not apologizing for my darkness. I'm
Respect your
apologizing for
elders.
the background.
I'm older than you, Negro. Respect me.
Re- res-
Peace.